All right. Good to see y'all. At a loss for words, honestly, with this one. Here's what I'm just gonna say. Get ready for me to be mad, and I'm mad at I'm mad at the team for sure, but this, I think this was like again. I have been consistent with my take this year that the officials have been the worst I've probably ever seen in my life, and today what we saw, I think, was the definition of arguably the worst officiated game I've probably ever seen. It's no excuse for the Bulls to lose this one. Yes, the Bulls had their chances, but it's just I'm mind boggled at what is happening with the officials, because it honestly looked like suddenly JB Bickerstaff just paid the officials during halftime. It's just ridiculous, because suddenly, like, what the Bulls post game on NBC Sports Chicago, and shout out to Kendall Gill, Will Purdue, and Jason Goff, like, they're gonna always blame team first, and as they should, because that's what they always do. But the first thing that they said is that we just saw the best defensive half and the worst defensive half of the season by the Bulls, and you can argue that's potentially true, and I'll be like, sure, you know what? If you want to take that route, fine. I'm fine with that. But to me, when your first half defense that was so good, that was so suffocating, that stopped Mitchell and every Cavs player in their tracks, was working, but was also allowed, you were allowed to play that defense in one half. And then suddenly, second half comes around, and you're still playing this same defense, and suddenly it's now illegal, then I don't know what this team's supposed to do. Again, the Bulls should have won this one because Patrick Williams did not box out Donovan Mitchell on the free throw attempt. That's 100% something that's on the Bulls, not on the refs. That's on Patrick Williams specifically, and it's on the Bulls for not getting that rebound, because they should have gotten that rebound. If they did, they probably win this game, even with the refs being so against them. But again, I'm gonna ask you guys, if this first half defense that you played was allowed, and you come out in the second half and you're doing the exact same thing, and all of a sudden now it's illegal, then I don't know what this Bulls team is supposed to do defensively, because they can't touch Mitchell all of a sudden. You cannot lay a hand on 45 out there for Cleveland, because even if you just look at him, the refs are calling fouls. And I'm like, bro, what can the Bulls suddenly do now, right? What are they going to be able to do suddenly if this is happening, right? It truly, to me, does not make any sense. And I'm like, Milkman, I understand that the Bulls should have won, but I can't ignore how terrible of officiating game, how terrible the officials officiated this game. This was the worst I've probably seen all season, and I've been saying that the officials have been the worst I have ever seen. I'm not happy at all with this, and I've been saying that the NBA needs to start implementing some punishments for officials when they don't do their job. It's just straight facts. And again, I'm not saying fire officials. They have a union, as they should. But when it comes to seeing some of these officials, especially Tony Brothers, who has made some severe mistakes this season already, and he fails to do his job again tonight, like, he needs to be punished, severely punished. And nothing's gonna change, and this league is just gonna go to crap if nothing changes with this. It's just sad to see the officiating how it is now all of a sudden, right? I'm mind boggled at how bad it is. And I will say this, I do think potentially gambling, might might play a part, right? It might honestly be playing a part in some of this stuff. Not saying that the players or officials or coaches are gambling, but the NBA might be trying to do some stuff behind the scenes to make sure that some bets get made and some bets end up coming out to be some, that end up working when it probably shouldn't be the case, right? I have no evidence to back this up, right? Because, at the end of the day, we just, as a society, we just believe, you know what? This is how it is. And yes, the Bulls should have won this one. But it's the officiating in this game was a joke. I was incredibly shocked to see what I saw in that second half. I don't know what the Bulls do. We're being called for fouls that aren't fouls. We played good defense in the first half. We did everything that we're supposed to do in the first half, and suddenly what we did in the first half that was allowed is all of a sudden illegal. It's insane. Give me a second here. I want to make sure that my mic is sounding all right. I want to monitor my own stuff here. Let's see. Oh, no, okay, there we go. All right, test. All right. Test. All right. Sorry about the echo. Just want to make sure that my mic is sounding all right. All right, there you go. What's going on, Calvin? Crazy games. I've been finishing school up, so I wasn't on top of games. But don't worry, Calvin. You're all good. I understand school life. I'm unfortunately already back at school. So take care of yourself first. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Magugla, worst and best game I've seen in my life. Officially done with the Bulls. I won't be. I'm not mad at you for that. I mean, I've been saying that the season's already down the drain. Like I think again, people are gonna be like, okay, we should tank. No, you don't tank. But this season itself is, to me, already kind of down the drain. Again, I have been looking at the standings, and it's like the Bulls have had chances to move up in these standings, and there's still a very good chance of them potentially getting that 6th seed. But even if we get the 6th seed, like, we know we're losing the first round, right? So whether we make the playoffs or not, it's going to be a short season for the Bulls due to a lot of issues with this team. And it just shows you the shortcomings of this team in the end. A team like Cleveland that is missing two of their best 4 players can do this, right? And obviously Mitchell put on his Superman cape, and it's again, I'm gonna give Donovan Mitchell credit, and I want to make this very clear at the start of the stream. Donovan Mitchell is one of my favorite players in the league. If you ask David Bernauer, who's been on this channel before, I've been saying the 2017 draft, I was scouting a lot. I think that's like the most I've ever done scouting for a draft, and Donovan Mitchell was like kind of projected to go around where the Bulls were going to pick it. I believe it was 15 that year. And I was like, man, this is a guy that I think has some serious potential. I did not think he was going to be an all-star, but I'm like, even though he's undersized as a shooting guard, I'm like, he's going to translate. He's going to 100% translate into the NBA. And then ever since he's been in the NBA, I've been one of his biggest supporters. I seriously love Donovan Mitchell as a player, and he is taking the next step this year easily. I have also been, I think, very honest about him as a player, though. I think that in Utah, he was not playing good defense at all. And this is something that I thought that he could do, and I saw it at Louisville, that he could play good defense for sure. But what was, it was weird to see the whole, him and Rudy Gobert dynamic, which in the end, it just, I thought that wasn't going to work. So the Jazz made the right decision. But I've been like very honest about Mitchell as a player, that we've seen before that these, small shooting guards, they do tend to, or I should just say small guards in general, that especially the ones that rely on their quickness and agility and their athleticism, which Mitchell does. Like, his career, in my opinion, like, this is the best we're going to see him, and I'm worried about a big drop off with him due to how some of the hits that they take and some of the shots they'll take when they go inside. Like, small guards take a beating. And Mitchell is unfortunately in that category where he does rely on his quickness, agility. He's mostly a cutter. Obviously, he has that 3-point game to him, so like his game is not gonna fall dramatically like how we saw some of these other guards that we've seen come into this league. But like this is the best we're gonna see Mitchell at. I think I just I do question a little bit how long his career is gonna last and head into his older his age 30 years. I do question that. But no matter what, though, he's one of my favorite players in the NBA, and I'm here to say that the officials gave him probably 15 points tonight due to just him being Donovan Mitchell. And I don't know what Jimmy Bickerstaff has said to the officials during halftime, but clearly something worked, and the officials I think gave him 15 points tonight. Just being Donovan Mitchell, and if the Bulls looked at him, it's a foul call. And I think that's ridiculous. No player should ever get that treatment. Yeah, it's just overall bad. Towards the end there, Mitchell just could not miss it all. Yeah, good to see you, Patrick. But yeah, when a guy like Donovan Mitchell gets going like this, it's either throw a double team at him or it's over. But here's the thing, I should Billy Donovan throw a double team at him earlier for sure. Like if you're gonna lose a game, it should not be by Mitchell's hands. It should be by someone else's hands, right? But even with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley out, I still think that this Cavs team is severely hard to guard just in the first place, right? Without Mitchell catching fire, this Cavs team is very tough. They're one of the best teams in the NBA for a reason. They're a tough squad. But if you throw that double team at Mitchell, like they have a lot of pieces that can still take advantage of the double team. It's not like they're throwing it to guys that don't know what to do with the basketball. And I do think that the Cavaliers, they're kind of like a 3-and-D type wing away from being a serious contender here. But even without that, and without Garland, without Mobley out there, they still have Kevin Love, who's a vet out there. They still have Karis LeVert, who understands what to do with the basketball. Cedi Osman is a very solid player, and what I would argue is better than most of the Bulls bench players, right? Like, Cedi Osman, I don't think is someone that people really actually understand how good of a player he has become. But in the end, my point is that if you throw that double team at Mitchell, like, you're going to be really, really scrambling. And unfortunately, due to the Bulls personnel, with not having that mobile big out there, like, it's not going to go well. Jarrett Allen is an all-star. He was an all-star last season, and I feel like people still don't really know who Jarrett Allen is, but he is a very, very good big man, and people can't take him lightly, but I feel like people kind of forget who he is, and it does kind of bother me that, like, he's just kind of like in the back of people's heads. But Jarrett Allen is a big that can 100% take advantage of a double team easily. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was odd that Io was shooting these threes in the corner on the kickouts. Patrick, in my opinion, those are the right basketball plays. Io has to hit those shots, in my opinion. And Patrick Williams also got a wide open three in that overtime. You got to hit shots, right? And I understand that people might be like, well, DeRozan and Levine and Vooch, where did you go? But you saw a concerted effort in that overtime that the Cavs were like, we're gonna let P. Will beat us, or we're gonna let Io beat us, right? And I think it's so odd to hear from Bulls fans, like, people say bad shot Zach or bad shot DeRozan, like they're being too selfish, and I'm like, I don't know what you want at this point, right? Because then we see something like this where Io has 2 open 3-point looks from both corners, or I think it was maybe even 3, and he missed all of them in overtime. Like, that's the right basketball play, but like, is that really the shot that we want as Bulls fans, right? I've been saying that sometimes we have to accept that the best shot that we're gonna get is a DeRozan fadeaway or a Levine step back 3 or whatever it is. Maybe it's a Vucevic post fadeaway. I would take that sometimes over some of these young players like P. Will and Io shooting a wide open 3 in the corner, because it's like we're depending on these guys to hit these shots, and I don't know if I can depend on them. You're kind of seeing where the experience really comes into play, and I understand it's like people say, pass the ball, move it. make the right basketball play. Well, they did. The Bulls made the right basketball play for the first 4 minutes of that overtime, and the Bulls didn't score a point, right? So it's up to fans at the end of the day to be the ones that choose whether that was the right play or not. I think a lot of fans would say that Zach passing it wide open to Ayo Dosunmu in the corners is the right basketball play, and he should do it 100 times out of 100. But I'm also here to say that I think it might be better if Zach tries to force his way to the cup, even though that he has 2 guys on him. And I would almost rather Zach try to shoot a layup than Ayo shooting a wide open 3-point look, especially at the end of games. Michael Jordan, a lot of times, I know that we talk about the Steve Kerr shot and the John Paxson shot. There are times where I'm like, I don't care who the hell is open. It could be one of the best 3-point shooters in the league that isn't an all-star that's on your team and is wide open at the end of a game. But in those clutch scenarios, I don't want him shooting the shot. I want MJ taking that shot, right? And I understand that is probably the greatest player of all time, at least in my eyes. We can argue about that, but I want him taking that shot, right? Even if it isn't the right basketball play. So I think Bulls fans need to figure out the priorities, especially down the stretch of games, right? Yeah, last time I checked the stats, our 3-point attempts were 7 out of 18 now, end of game 10 of 33. Yeah, Bulls just went cold from 3-point range. But here's the thing. If you're gonna think maybe the Bulls shot too many threes, I will disagree with you. I thought the Bulls were going right to the rim all game, throughout the first half and second half. There were no foul calls. This free throw discrepancy is ridiculous, okay? A team shooting 45 free throws in a game should never happen, in my opinion. It should just never happen. I don't care who you have. You should never be able to shoot 45 free throws in a game. Part of this is definitely on the Bulls, for sure. Not saying that the Bulls are, completely out of this and that they don't deserve blame. But 45 free throws? Yeah, no. That's ridiculous. I believe it was 20 free throws in the third quarter. Maybe it was 18 for the Cavs. Nah. To me that should never happen. Was able to watch the entire game today. Can't believe we lost this. Good to see you, Go. Yeah, I can't believe we lost this either, but in my opinion, the Bulls were against 2 opponents tonight. That was depressing? Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was depressing. And I'm depressed right now. The Bulls should have won this one. Patrick Williams does his box out, even with Mitchell going off and the officials against us. Bulls win this. Yeah. I think the Bulls take this 100% on the chin. It's on them. I'm also here to say that the officials, I think, are some of the worst in the league right now. That was the most ridiculous performance I've seen. What are your thoughts on the attempted game winner in the fourth? I'm going to actually pull this up if I can. I want to see if Will Gottlieb posted it. But my opinion, this was another bad play, I guess. I did not like... I hated that shot by DeRozan. I thought the Bulls didn't execute it the way that it was supposed to be executed. I'm going to search through some videos here to see if I can find it. If not, I'll just go through the game. I have YouTube TV, so... But yeah, I thought that was not executed well again. And I don't know what exactly is the case here, but we can talk about it. The thing is that this almost looks very similar to what we saw on Saturday night. I thought it was this was not great. And maybe Billy Donovan tomorrow will talk about it, but to me, this was just executed poorly. So the one thing I noticed immediately, so they brought in Kobe White, who hit 2 big free throws, and I think he should be in this play. So this is right by Donovan, by the way. I want to make this clear. This is the right move by Donovan. Donovan also made the right move when Mitchell got that offensive rebound off his miss and put it up and in. He brought in Andre Drummond. That's the right move. People can't be upset at Donovan for that. Now, on this play, you have 3 seconds, so you have less time than last game in this sort of scenario, right? But again, I've been saying that if you're gonna, in these sort of scenarios, that you need to make sure you use these two guys. Okay, I understand Zach LaVine hasn't hit like a last second shot this season, but he's made some big time shots. He's one of the best fourth quarter scorers in the league right now. Go look up the numbers. Okay, he's one of your two best players, and you can argue who's the better player, but either way, you got to use both of these to the most of you can, right? So I don't know exactly what Donovan was looking for here, but we're gonna see basically like a flare screen for LaVine to go to the corner, and then Vooch is gonna come off that screen instead of pick for DeRozan to come up to the top of the key here. I don't necessarily like this, so let's watch this play out. So LaVine's going to come off this double, I call it a flare, whatever you want to call it, cross screen, whatever. So Kobe sets it, here comes Vooch sets it, he's going to run to the corner. I honestly, here's my question. I think maybe this was the first option, right? Maybe this was the first option, just wasn't there, but who knows, right? Cavs switched this correctly, okay? So you saw the switch here. Chetty Osman picked up Zach, but then also Kevin Love came over and picked up Zach. So maybe this was the first option, okay? Now, you're going to see here, Kobe comes over, sets the screen. Here comes Vooch to come over, set the screen, right? And here comes DeRozan, comes up to the top of the key to catch this. And right here, I'm like, this is not good already. Like, to me, I see big errors all around this play. First off, I want these two players, and LaVine and DeRozan, I want them close together here. I want them to be as close together as possible. Unless you're going to do an immediate catch and shoot opportunity, like I feel like these two players need to be right next to each other, because you're going to see here the spacing gets all screwed because we don't have these two players next to each other. So you're going to see a double team come over to DeRozan. If you're Kobe, you got to get over here, man. I don't know what you got to do to get Mitchell out of here, but do anything you can to get Mitchell out. Seeing Vooch being here, like right here, is I think an issue as well. Vooch at this point, he needs to be in the paint somewhere, whether it's here baseline. He's got to be in the paint, right? He's got to be in the paint. So now Vooch is here. He's sealing LeVert again. Move out of the way, because if you move out of here, to me, then it opens up the floor a little bit more. But instead, we see Vooch is stuck here, right? Now the Bulls, because he didn't move, they're all clogged up on this strong side here with the ball, and it allows Caris LeVert to come on over to off of Vucevic to come over and help for this step back three that's contested by two Cavs. Again, I don't know why this was even an option. Maybe if Vooch moves out of here, I'd be feeling a lot better, but it just seems like this was poorly executed, not just by Donovan, but also the players. Like, I don't think Donovan really had a good idea what to do here. But yeah. If you're wondering what I would personally do, like, just off this set alone, I was already thinking to myself, okay, maybe what the Bulls do here is you have Zach come on over and you set a pin down for DeRozan. Try to force the Cavs to make a decision between these two guys, right? If anything, they're gonna switch it, okay? And if your entire goal is to get DeMar DeRozan the best, like a one-on-one opportunity, then I would much rather have Caris LeVert guarding DeMar DeRozan than Jarrett Allen, okay? And in this sort of scenario, if you just do this one little pick, right? Jarrett Allen switches on LaVine, Caris LeVert's on DeMar. All of a sudden now, you got what you wanted, and you haven't even inbounded the ball, right? So I thought you could have done that. Then, between Kobe and Vucevic, then what I wouldn't be shocked of seeing is, after this play happens, then you run Zach over here, and you have Kobe come over and set a screen for him, okay? So Kobe comes over and sets a screen, and then you move Vucevic over here, and have Zach run over to the corner as another outlet, right? I think you could have done something like this. I know it's kind of hard to see the way I'm drawing it out, but basically after this little pin down action where you get DeRozan the switch on the Caris LeVert, right? Then what I would have taken is Zach comes off this. You have Kobe come over and set a screen and have Zach run off of this, and then Vooch come over here and set a screen and have Zach come off this. So you have two options in the inbound, right? Like you have DeRozan to come off this. If he's open, like this is your first option, right? I'll switch colors here. So this right here, where DeRozan would have Karis LeVert on him, this is your first option, okay? So in my opinion, this is option number one. If that is not available, like let's say Kevin Love shoots this gap, right, and covers this up, then your second option is over here with Zach, right? And he should have some sort of mismatch at this point, and you should have occupied all these defenders at the very least so that he gets a one-on-one matchup. I think I would have done that. At the very least, in my opinion, you gotta make some sort of action between Zach and DeRozan. I don't care what it is. Use these two. Make the two defenders to guarding them make a decision, right? Use these two guys. What I also wouldn't have been upset about is if this was just a simple, like, DeRozan, like, let's just say it's a simple pin down, okay? Let's just use it. Again, I'm not saying that this would be the exact set, but just have Kobe and Vooch come over and set a double pin down here and get DeRozan the ball. Once DeRozan catches this, Zach comes over, sets a screen, you run off of it, defense figures it out. I think you get the one-on-one matchup, in my opinion. But that's not what happened here. So I don't know, man. I like Billy Donovan, again, I give him credit for a lot of silent out-of-bounds plays that he has drawn up this season so far. The one against the Hawks I thought was correct. I thought that the one against the Knicks was 100% correct, where DeRozan hit that game winner. But he used both Levine and DeRozan in that sort of play, right? And in this play, we don't see them being used together, right? I just don't know what this play was supposed to really do, especially when in the end, what resulted in this being, right, again, maybe this was the first option, maybe, right? Maybe this was supposed to go to Zach here, and you kind of see Io looking towards it. But if this was your second option, I just think this is a poor second option because you're not executing this correctly. And maybe this is on Vooch. Maybe this is more on Vooch than Donovan, but if you're Vooch, man, at this moment in time when DeRozan's about to catch this ball, get out of the way, right? Sorry. Get out of the way. Because it's Karis LeVert who comes on over to double team because Vooch is standing at the elbow, right? I don't really know what Vooch was doing here. Maybe this was the game plan. Maybe this is on Vooch. But still, though, I'm not happy with this being the second option or if this was the main option. I don't like that play at all. Yeah. Not ideal, in my opinion. Not ideal by Billy Donovan. Yeah, I apologize, chat. I'll catch up on your messages, but if you guys are enjoying the stream, I really do appreciate if you're hitting the like button. Helps me out a lot. If you're new to the channel and you like Bulls content, hit that subscribe button. Doing Bulls content all season, so hit the subscribe button. It does help me out a lot with my channel. But I'm gonna get back to chat here because I see you guys have a lot to say. Yeah, I was hoping for something better at the end of the fourth. Billy got a second chance to win the game and failed. Yeah, and it's not necessarily all on Billy, right? Because the players have to hit the shot, right? But I definitely thought it could have been executed a lot better. So I agree with you on there, Patrick. Look at Casey Johnson's tweet. What Don committed a lane violation? Alex Caruso made 2 lane violations, which honestly may have cost the Bulls the game. Who knows? And it was off of Donovan Mitchell free throw, and we saw that. I don't know what the refs are looking at. To me, that wasn't a lane violation by Alex Caruso. I personally was like that's not a lane violation, but they called Alex Caruso on a lane violation twice, which I've never seen that call from one of the guards. Right, I've never seen that before. Mitchell missed 2 free throws, and then he got another chance to make that free throw, and he made it. So it's just, again, missed opportunities if you're the Bulls. You can't have that mistake, I guess. But again, like, how much is that really on Caruso? Stuff for discussion. I'm not exactly sure where this was. Maybe I'll find out later. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was odd. Refs W, so the game, yeah. So yeah, good look there, but the pass is kind of tough. Maybe Kobe had a good look on that last inbound play, but again, who do I want taking the shot? It's either DeRozan's your first option, which it seems like. Zach's your second option. And then your third option would be Vooch if it comes down to it, but it probably doesn't get down to it in 3 seconds, right? I want DeMar or Zach taking the shot, even if Kobe potentially had a good look at it. But that's a very tough cross-court pass, and that Io has to make over Kevin Love. And I don't think that's worth even trying. Yeah. Wait, Levert's left hand, that's a foul. Yep. Well, as I've always said, for all the people that think that the Bulls should drive at the end of a game, on the last play of a game, or during a clutch scenario is to drive, if that's what you think, you're wrong. You should never, ever, ever look to drive in those scenarios, because if you do end up getting fouled, the officials are going to swallow their whistle. Okay? We saw this at the end of the last game where DeRozan did get fouled. Now, a lot of people don't think he got fouled, right? There wasn't a big uproar on Bulls Twitter at the end of the last game, but it came out in the last 2-minute report that DeRozan got fouled, should have been awarded 2 free throws. It just shows you that, again, you cannot trust the officials at the end of games. Cannot. It's something that you cannot do. So I'll watch this one more time here. I'm personally not looking at a foul, but maybe this is a foul. Potentially, there's something there, honestly. But in my opinion, it's something that, again, you cannot depend on. And the officials are going to be like, no, we're not going to call this. They're going to swallow their whistle at the end of games. Can't depend on it. So, again, I would much rather lose on a jump shot than drive to the rim, get fouled, and should be at the free throw line, but don't get the chance to go to the free throw line and potentially win the game because the officials didn't blow the whistle, right? I would much rather lose on a jump shot because I have a better chance, in my opinion, of making that shot. Damn, Billy Donovan is still coaching. What an awful NBA coach. I'll say this: I have not been much of a fan of Billy Donovan this season. I've been mostly a Billy Donovan defender, but I'm not a big fan of him this year. And in this game, he could have, in my opinion, done some things better. Obviously, that last shot by DeRozan could have been better, but he could have made a little bit more adjustments, in my opinion, to help the Bulls get through this one. He did stick up his first players, which again is a pretty low bar because a coach is supposed to do that. I've seen coaches that don't do that though, but yeah, I don't know. It's not a good season by Billy Donovan, and remember, the Bulls front office, they re-signed him. They signed him to a contract extension, so he's here, right? He's not going anywhere, unfortunately. And I don't think he's the worst coach in the NBA. I don't think he's one of the one of the 5 worst coaches in the NBA, but he is definitely not in the top 15, in my opinion, of best coaches in the NBA. And I think there's a lot on the line this year, and I'm a little shocked by the front office to give him that contract extension so quickly, when I think there's a lot on the line this season. But that's the Bulls front office for them to figure it out. Himothy dropped 71. Yep, Donovan Mitchell is him tonight. So yeah, I props to him. Again, props to him, but I'm also going to say that he got a lot of assists by the refs tonight, and I'm not going to bite my tongue on that. I think he really did. I was referring to Mitchell's intentional miss. It was a lane violation. So let's watch this. Let's see if this gets pulled up here. So you are right. Again, here we are again yelling at the officials. This is a lane violation. This is good. This is a good call by Cucklord, right? Yeah, this is a lane violation. And if you're wondering what the rule is specifically, the free throw shooter here, Donovan Mitchell, cannot move from the free throw line until the ball hits the rim. And you already see here that Mitchell, even before the ball is even close to the rim, he starts moving, right? This isn't a violation yet, but right there is a violation. Casey Johnson, I guess, tweeted it out, and I'm just not seeing it. I'm sorry, I'm blind. But yeah, this is 100% correct. But like I've said before, guys, officials at the end of games, you can't depend on officials at the end of games, guys. Like it's just straight up can't. Like this is just more evidence to just prove my point. Officials at the end of games, they aren't looking at crap, right? They're looking to see if the ball goes in or if the player shoots the shot in time before clock runs out. That's all they're looking at, right? They're not looking for a foul. They're not looking if someone commits a travel or commits a violation. They're not looking at that at all. So again, this is in fact a violation and something that the officials should have called. And this is going to be in the last 2-minute report again for the Bulls. But you just can't depend on the officials to make this call. You just straight up can't. It's something that we have to understand. And as Cucklord is saying in chat, Patrick Williams, yes. Donovan Mitchell committed a lane violation. Yes. But Patrick Williams should have 100% boxed him out no matter what. Right? Straight up. In the end, in my opinion, this is more on Patrick Williams than it is on the officials. Okay? It might be rough, and it might be me being too harsh, right? But I think in the end, this is on Patrick Williams and not the officials. Patrick Williams needs to box out Donovan Mitchell here. And unfortunately, this is right here to me, this is another piece of evidence of why Patrick Williams might not be a person to play at the end of games for now, right? I know a lot of people have been questioning, like, why didn't P. Will play at the end of last game, right? When we saw Donovan run with Io and Caruso instead of P. Will at the end of it. This is why, right? We've seen P. Will make these mistakes at the end of games, and it sucks, right? Because this is a guy that I have a lot of faith in, but this right here shows lack of awareness, and he needs to box out Donovan Mitchell, right? Yeah, lack of IQ. But I think more so lack of awareness, that he's not boxing him out, right? An one-arm box out, I don't care who the hell it is. It's not going to be enough, right? Maybe unless you're Steven Adams. Maybe you can one-arm box out somebody. But right here, this is inexcusable in my opinion. If you're P. Will, you gotta make sure that once Mitchell starts his shooting form, you're allowed to just go up and just start plugging him from behind, right? You're allowed to do that. So do that. Yeah, it's unreal to see this. Yeah. Now, the dumbest thing the refs didn't call was Mitchell offensive foul against DeMar, where Mitchell pushed off of him with his arm, for sure. I mean, but I honestly think I can make a whole compilation of how bad the officiating was today. Zach got called for an offensive foul on against Cedi Osman, where Osman clearly hit him first, and then I don't even know if Zach made contact with his elbow, but like, there are just so many things in that second half that I'm losing my mind. I was just like, no shot. And we'll see. The Bulls aren't the team to submit a report to the NBA. We've seen the Houston Rockets do it. We saw the Houston Rockets submit a report to the NBA about a game against the Warriors in the playoffs. I don't think the Bulls are going to do that, but I won't be shocked if some stuff is said, at least. And I haven't looked at Twitter a lot since I started streaming, so I do want to hear what Billy Donovan has to say about this, but yeah. JJ, I saw that you said Levine and DeMar giving me the Mitchell and Gobert vibes from last year. Here's the thing, guys. I do think that we are looking at a season where it might just be Chicago sports, honestly, that it's just cursed for this 2020 season of 2022, right, or season that started in 2022. That we have teams that are just underperforming, and I truly hope that this new year, at least for next season for the Bulls, it's a lot better, because again, I think this season's just down the drain mostly. Can the Bulls make the playoffs? For sure, but we're not going past the first round, right? So to me, it's already like you're not meeting expectations what the front office is set for you. But yeah, I do think that maybe Chicago sports were just cursed for 2022. My White Sox did not perform well. They performed very to under expectations, and I do kind of get this vibe from the Bulls of like a Utah Jazz team that had a lot of high expectations, and the fit doesn't work. I don't necessarily think that it's only Levine and DeRozan that is a part of this, by the way. Do I think that maybe they're like causing some of this feeling of like we're not performing up to expectations? Sure. right? I do think that one of the things that has kind of hurt the Bulls is that Zach had surgery, right? I do think that hurts the Bulls significantly. And Zach has looked well the past month, but him not being 100% hurt, right? And maybe it's more so on the Bulls front office for not being more prepared for that, right? And not having a little bit more of a security blanket in case Zach really wasn't at 100% to start the year, which he clearly wasn't, right? But we're at the point now that it's kind of already too late in the season, right? That you gotta start, you gotta start, putting together some games here. And the Bulls have let 2 games against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are undermanned, go, right? These are 2 games that you probably should have, and these losses continue to mount, and it hurts more as this season continues to move on, because you did not get off to that great of a start. That was the worst second half I've ever seen in my life, for sure. Yeah, I'm willing to put it up there. So crazy that the Wolves sold their whole future for a 30-year-old center who is limited offensively. I personally would not have done that. I would not have traded 5 first-round picks in general, 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. I think what the Wolves are looking at is that they do have an out, right? They have Anthony Edwards, okay? So he at least is kind of like their, security blanket in case that this experiment does not work. But the fact that it's even an experiment, to me, you don't give up 5 first-round picks for an experiment, right? And I'm willing to give them a little bit more time, but the issues that I saw coming have kind of already made it very clear. Have shown themselves, right? And with Cat not being healthy for who knows when, it's just going to push them back even farther, right? Did you see my last comment about the refs not calling offensive foul Mitchell for pushing off under Rosen? I did, yeah. And I agree with you, Cucklord. Like, yeah, Mitchell should have been called for an offensive foul. But, again, we can't trust refs, right? I honestly thought Vooch and DeMar did their thing. I would agree with you, yeah. And in this game, I thought the big 3 all did their thing. DeMar had 40+, Levine had 26, I believe, and Vooch had 20+. Like, that's what I want from the big 3. And honestly, I thought defensively they played pretty well. It's just that all of a sudden the defense, I broke down in the second half for sure. The Bulls, they there's no excuses for their lack of defensive effort. But, I mean, when the refs, again, when you're allowed to do one thing in the first half, but then obviously can't do in the second half, then I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know how do you defend guys suddenly. Like, you can't touch Mitchell. Legit. If you cannot touch Donovan Mitchell in the second half, if you barely lay a finger on him, if you blow on him, it's all of a sudden it's a foul. Like, that's what it was in the second half, and I'm like, we can't play defense if this is the case. I think AC fouling out and not being there in OT to guard Mitchell had a big impact. I think Alex Caruso not being there for that free throw that Donovan Mitchell intentionally missed had a humongous impact. Yeah. Alex Caruso needs to be in at the end of games for this specific reason, right? The dude has very high IQ. He is very aware. And sure, he only may be 6'4" and 190 pounds. But one thing I can guarantee you is that he boxes out Donovan Mitchell, right? I'm not saying we guarantee a rebound in that situation, but I guarantee you that he boxes out Donovan Mitchell right there. Just saying. Right. Like I said, I don't like being biased for my team, but if I was a ref, this game would have been lopsided. Yeah. I mean, if I was a ref, this game would have been lopsided. And, hell, make me ref two teams that I legit do not care about, right? A team does not get 45 free throws, okay? Overtime also played a part in it. But a team should not get 45 free throws, just straight up. And, the Bulls had 34, but it was so lopsided that second half that I thought it was ridiculous. Yeah, I'm just appalled by the refs' performance tonight. I've not yelled really tonight, and I'm proud of myself for it because I wanted to let out a big old scream after this one. Yeah, just incredible how the refs can sway a game, honestly. So just looking at the box score, there's a few things that jump out to me. Bulls lost the rebounding battle, and they were winning at halftime. Okay, Bulls they for sure let up on the glass in the second half, even though that things are going against them. Yeah, they let up on the glass. That's on them. So again, you take this L. This isn't the refs. This is them, right? This is on the Bulls for letting up in that second half. You gotta continue rebounding. Okay, the Bulls at the halftime, they were leading in basically every single category. They had more assists than the Cavs. They had more points in the paint. They had more rebounds, more free throws. Okay, they're basically leading in every single category. So at the end of this game, Cavaliers had more assists. Okay, the Bulls won the turnover battle, but not much to really say there. But second chance points. Yet again, the Cavaliers destroyed the Bulls tonight with second chance opportunities. So again, second half, you didn't rebound. There's that, right? Points in the paint, the Cavaliers won it in the end, right? Bulls were leading points in the paint by, I believe, by 10 at halftime. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it was a significant lead for the Bulls at halftime in points in the paint. You lost that. And Jarrett Allen is definitely a force to go through down there in the paint. But you got to do better. Yeah, so it's just unfortunate. So let's see here. Second half, I just want to see the stats. If it even loads. I guess we're not gonna be able to. That's advanced. Okay, cool. Alright. Awesome job, NBA.com. Make him pull up miscellaneous. No. Yeah, just overall bad. The points in the paint for the Bulls in the second half. Okay, we're looking at 30, and the Cavaliers at 36. So okay, maybe it wasn't this big of a lead, but I just you just compare it all to the first half. It's significant. It's just significant change. The Bulls in the first half at 24 points in the paint compared to the Cavs 16. So 8-point difference that we're looking at there. Points off turnovers. Bulls had 13. Cavs had 2 at the first half, right? Second chance opportunities. Cavs only had 5, so they got 19 in the second half, which is ridiculous. Okay, Bulls had 4, so it's pretty close, right? Yeah, just overall, it just a complete shutdown in the second half by the Bulls, where they failed to do anything right, honestly. So just going off the numbers again, second chance opportunities, we're looking at a humongous difference. Okay, it's just ridiculous. Or sorry, I don't even know what OT a part of this. Okay, so OT is not a part of this. So OT is different than the second half, I guess. But Cavs had 5 second chance opportunities for 5 points, 5 second chance points in the OT. Yeah. So again, even in your 5-minute overtime, you gave him 5 second chance points. Ridiculous, just straight up. On my headset. It's been one hell of a season for the Bulls. In the wrong way possible. Like it's everything that we did not like. Everything that could have really gone wrong has pretty much gone wrong, except for some serious bad injuries to the big three, right? But we're not closing out games. We're not winning the rebounding battle all of a sudden. We're doing trends that are bad, right? In the past 6 games, the Bulls have given up a ton of second chance points, right? That's been a trend. But the first trend of the season was that we got down early in all of our games, right? And I had to come back in all of them, right? It's just these bad trends that we're getting stuck in. And I'm just lost at why we're continuing to give ourselves bad trends in these games. Look at the box score. Obviously, DeRozan full out carried this team tonight mostly, and I thought DeRozan should have had more. I thought DeRozan should have 50. Honestly, they got fouled so many times in that second half, but nothing was called. He should have been to the free throw line close to 20. Should have shot at least close to 20 free throws, in my opinion. But that didn't happen. Phenomenal game by DeRozan, by the way. Just overall great. Vucevic had a very, very efficient game. Hit a big 3 at the end. 20 and 13, so another double-double for him. Zach, I thought he had overall pretty good game. He started missing some shots in OT. which at that point it's just over. But 26-6-6, I mean, I can't complain. I thought Zach's playmaking was also really, really good. But yeah, just Big Three showed up. Patrick Williams did not overall have a good game tonight. I thought he was kind of getting burned defensively, especially on some rotations. He wasn't great. Isle did not come through when we kind of needed him, but I'll give him credit for having to guard Mitchell for a good amount of the game. But the bench tonight, I thought the first half of the bench looked great, right? Russo looked good. I thought even though Dragic played in limited minutes, but you saw the minutes that Dragic played were huge, right? Suddenly then the bench is just not good in the second half. Obviously, a lot of things are going bad in the second half, but yeah, not good. Do you think we are streaky? I think we are streaky with our trends that I guarantee you this, there's going to be a trend. So after the Bulls fix this second chance opportunity thing, where we finally start fixing our defensive rebounding, which, by the way, the Bulls this season, they've been a very good defensive rebounding team, okay? If you're looking at defensive rebounding, like, the Bulls have been, so far throughout the season, like, they've been one of the best, okay? We've been top 5, right? Like, we're looking at defensive rebound percentage here. Like, we've been one of the best all season. And then suddenly this past week and a half, the Bulls just have decided to give up a bunch of offensive rebounds. Now, we've won some games, right? We've won against the Bucks, and we, give up a bunch of second chance opportunities for them. We won against them, and we've won some games, but you don't win games consistently if this is an issue. I guarantee you that after the Bulls fix this issue, which they're gonna fix, okay? I guarantee they're gonna fix this. There's gonna be another issue that's gonna come through all of a sudden, right? And it's like, what do we do? It bothers me to see that this team cannot consistently be like, all right, we need to work on something, but then can't keep up their effort on some other aspect of the game. And I'm not saying it's exactly the players. It might be a coaching issue, honestly, that they're too heavily focused on one issue, but all of a sudden forget other issues or other things to worry about. It could be a coaching issue too, but in the end, it's still, in general, the team's fault. Once you fix something, that does not mean you let up on something else. So after this, issues fixed where we're giving up too many offensive rebounds, suddenly the Bulls are gonna be, I don't know, maybe they'll be fouling too much, which we saw tonight, I guess. But there's gonna be something else where maybe the Bulls go on a turnover streak, where the Bulls just turn the ball over all of a sudden, and they can't stop turning the ball over, right? That's how the season's gonna go for this year, and I don't know. Maybe there's just a curse on Chicago sports because Chicago sports is in probably one of the worst places it's been, honestly. If you're a Bears fan, I know that you're hoping that you get a first or second overall pick, right? And I'm hoping for that too. I'm not that fully invested in the Bears, but I do watch, and you're on a 9-game losing streak. That's something that's never been done in franchise history, right? That sucks. Even though you're rebuilding, it sucks. The Bulls, they've been bad. The White Sox sucked. And the Cubs, I honestly thought that the Cubs had some expectations that they did not even meet this year. And they had low expectations. And luckily for them, they got Dansby Swanson, so new year for them. But that's bad. And then obviously the Blackhawks are just bad too right now, and they're going through a rebuild, and they haven't looked great. So who knows, man? 2023, I hope it is better. I truly hope it's better. Obviously, for the Bulls, you have to finish out this season. But, yeah, hopefully the next year it's going to look a lot better. And hopefully Lonzo Ball's healthy. Because, boy, did we need a Lonzo Ball in this one, guys. Yeah, if this Lonzo Ball injury continues, guys, the Bulls' short-term and long-term success, I think, is, in jeopardy unless the Bulls front office makes some significant move. That's something that is a big issue. So Billy Donovan did say a few things, and I'm very interested to see what he said. So he said it was clearly in violation of Donovan Mitchell. So he pointed that out, right? He's also saying that the last 2-minute report doesn't do crap, which I 100% agree with, right? I don't get the last 2-minute report. The last 2-minute report is supposed to hold officials accountable. Has that done that? Right? I don't think it's done anything, honestly. Because to me, all it just shows you that the officials aren't doing their job, and then they go out the next night and they don't do their job, right? There's nothing getting fixed with the last 2-minute reports. And it's just Weird. Yeah, we need to block out better, hence Patrick Williams. Hate to call him out, man. Let's see what else you had to say, if you did have to say anything. Doesn't exactly look like it. No. Yep. Just... yeah, I mean, again, the Bulls blew a 21-point lead. It is what it is. Going like a Casey Johnson to see if he is putting out anything here. Robin Lopez with a good truth. No. It is just ridiculous with this Bulls team, unfortunately. I'm pretty upset that we didn't get this one, even though a lot of things were against us. Most points since Kobe, Devin Booker and more, I think. 72. No, Devin Booker has 70. So this is 71. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell has 71 tonight, so that is the most points since Kobe Bryant. All right. Due to the Bulls defense gives someone 71 points. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Part of it's on the Bulls for sure. Again, I'm just saying, hey, that give 15 to the officials for Mitchell's 71. I'm gonna pull up YouTube TV. I wanna go over a play here that I want to talk about. Actually, wait. I think I can just pull it up here. Hopefully they have the play-by-play stuff already. We're breaking records all the wrong ways? Oh, for sure. We need to change because nothing we do works. Yeah, one of those changes I think is Billy Donovan right now. Again, I'm just going to reiterate this. The Bulls defense was allowed to do one thing in the first half and was not allowed to do something was not allowed to do the same defense in the second half. I don't know what to do about that. Like, I seriously am lost. Like, what do? You can't touch Mitchell. That's ridiculous. Just saying. What is this? I just want to see if this is it. Mitchell into. Does it look like we're able to go back? I'm just gonna pull up YouTube TV. People always have career nights versus the Bulls. It's insane. So here's what I've said so far this year. I think the Bulls have given up career nights to some of these role players that should not have, career nights, right? Or maybe it's like the third best player, could be all-star caliber, right? But we're seeing games from, role players, right? That they shouldn't have these sort of games, okay? I look at the Minnesota Timberwolves game, who was it? That center from Minnesota that just had that ridiculous game against the Bulls, right? It's not necessarily like an all-star. It's like these role players that get going against the Bulls. And I don't know why that specifically is. I'll point out to the defense again, where the Bulls defense again is to protect the paint first and force perimeter shots. And what we're seeing a lot of is that the Bulls, and this is what they're supposed to do, they're helping off the three-point shooters, right? So we see a Kevin Love go off against us, on Saturday night. We see, some good role players have some career nights against us because we're giving them the open looks and we're basically asking them to beat us, right? which is, you know, it's overall right, but it also just shows you that, like, if we don't get a center, right, that has the ability to actually protect the paint just from himself, this Bulls defense is gonna continue to do this, right? It's gonna continue to have issues, okay? And again, I think this is the right defense because of the player personnel on this team. Is this the defense that's gonna win a championship though? No, absolutely not, right? You're not gonna win a championship off this defense. You need better players, okay? And this Bulls team is going to continue to have these nights where we're seeing opposing teams just light it up from 3-point range against us because our defense is supposed to be giving up that 3-point shot, right? But you're asking why do we give it up then? Well, I guarantee you, if we change the defense to run the 3-point shooter off the 3-point line, the Bulls are going to be giving up historic numbers inside the paint, right? We're going to see games where the Bulls give up 80 points in the paint if we do such a thing. And that's not good defense either, okay? So this is the defense now because, again, we don't have a shot blocker, right? We don't have that player personnel to block these shots. All of a sudden now, it looks, you know, we're seeing teams go off against us from 3-point range. So we have to understand that this is what we're deciding to do. And moving forward, better players need to come in, right? And give us a better chance. What will the return look like for a Vooch trade? Yeah, it's again not much because he's going to be a free agent. Okay, he's already over 30. He's looking for probably a bigger deal in free agency. It's not going to be much in return, right? I would hope we get a protected first round pick. We might not even get that. It might be 2 seconds, but at the very least, I want some sort of role player or like a young player with some potential. Obviously, not all-star level potential, but I've been saying Cam Reddish, trade with the Knicks. The Knicks kind of seem to, they've been going through their issues as well. But it's not going to be much for Vooch, okay? I see that everyone's talking about streams and stuff. Yeah, so League Pass, in my opinion, is weird because if you're in Chicago, you can't use League Pass to watch the Bulls. It's a blackout restriction. I personally do not understand it, but that's just how it works. So yeah, as Magugla said, NBA does use your IP address to block out games. And so I'm not going to confirm or deny that there is something called illegal streams that is available widely on the internet. I can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever used those before. I can neither confirm or deny that they exist. But all I'm going to suggest is that if you need to watch a Bulls stream or any NBA stream, honestly, if you do some research, I think you'll be able to find ways of such that could be, or I do not know if they're legal or illegal to use. Can't confirm nor deny that, but yes, there are ways you could do such a thing. Yeah. What makes YouTube TV different? So I use YouTube TV because right now I'm not, I'm at college, so like I'm not I'm not staying at one spot anymore, and YouTube TV to me isn't really much different than any other streaming service that provides television. I think if anything, the reason why I, or at least my family, made the switch, it's just because, or at least away from like cable, is the streaming world, at least for me, like I kind of need access to the television in different areas, right, and not necessarily at home. So that's the reason why we made the switch, and also it's overall cheaper than a lot of offers out there, at least for us. So I prefer YouTube TV over a lot of things. It's not, I'm not saying it's perfect. I think the UI, especially on the phone, is not great, but to me it gets the job done, and I appreciate the flexibility with YouTube TV. Sorry, you're gonna hear the game sound here, and I apologize. There's a commercial. I might not be able to find this, but there was a play with about 2 minutes left to go, it might be this here for the Bulls that I was pretty upset with how things were being guarded. So this right here is, I think, what Cucklord was saying, like offensive foul, right? I don't know what, honestly, if what the Bulls are supposed to do. To me, this is an offensive foul. Nothing's called, right? So all of a sudden now the Bulls are down a player, right? And Vooch has to step up off of Jarrett Allen. Zach does the right thing. He comes over and stops this right here. And because if Zach doesn't come on over, this is an easy dunk. This is just an easy, simple dunk, right? But Mitchell makes the next pass, which is the open three-pointer to the corner, which then Patrick Williams needs to come on over, okay? DeMar needs to get up at this point, in my opinion. Like, he has to just get up also. So that's also on him. But you got to come over for Patrick Williams. Because then if you come on over, it gives DeMar a little bit more time. Because then if Io can slide over to cover Kevin Love, Zach can come on over to cover Isaac Okoro, who again is not a three-point shooter. So yeah, it just this was upsetting to watch, in my opinion. I'm not pleased with this effort by the Bulls, especially with DeMar still being on the floor at this point. He's got to get up. He's got to get up and get back into this play. So, in my opinion, lack of awareness by P. Will on this one. Should the Bulls have gotten an offensive foul called? Yes. Donovan Mitchell should have been called for an offensive foul, for sure. But you got to play through the whistle, or lack of whistle, right? P. Will got to come on over. I'll move on over, right? Make this guy shoot the three. But Bulls didn't do that. So I just want to point that out. This just showed, I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. Bulls got to do better down the stretch. Also, Jarrett Allen traveled so hard, reminded me of Kendrick Perkins trying to do a handoff play back in 2015. Yeah, I did also think Jarrett Allen traveled, but again, we're not gonna, again, it's not called. Travels aren't called at the end of games. I thought Mitchell threw a pass to Jarrett Allen that I thought Allen traveled on when he caught the pass, right? But it is what it is. Can't really complain too. You can't be upset because, again, you're not gonna get the call. One last thing. So I want to address the end of game stuff here for the Bulls. I want to at least get some sort of positive note on this game where I'm like, the Bulls did some things right. Okay, so first off, let's just talk about this play right here. So I thought the Bulls did a great job on this play. So if you want to know the situation, Bulls are up by 3, 25.4 seconds remaining. Cavs have the ball. Okay, now Cavs have already burned a timeout. They've inbounded the ball. Okay, now Mitchell here is looking for a drive. Okay, now the Bulls, they do a good job of here. One, of not giving up the 3-point shot to Mitchell up here, right? Or here, sorry. They could have done that, right? I want to change my color. So you don't want to give up a 3 if you're the Bulls, right? If you're going to give up anything, it's a 2. Mitchell then drives, and Vooch comes over for the help, which I think is the right play here. And then he throws this to Allen for the dunk. This is where I'm like, Patrick Williams needs to, again, you got to be better. So let's just watch this play again. This is the entire play, by the way. This is a Mitchell drive. He gets the shot off, misses, and then Allen gets the offensive rebound. Nothing you can really do there, in my opinion. Bulls, you got to play this out. So let's just watch this again. I thought, again, Bulls did a good job not giving up a 3-point shot here. Vooch comes on over for the help. But again, you always talk about if you're P. Will, in the right position, right? You got to slide over in this scenario. Come on over and don't give up this. But the good news is that the Bulls ran off like 13 seconds off the clock. So that's at least a good part of this. Now, execution-wise here, thought the Bulls did everything right. You inbound it quick. You don't let the Cavs defense to get set at all. You have some guys like P. Will and Zach to run down so to open up the space here. Io inbounds the ball. He comes out and is now the release valve. Okay, so DeRozan is going to come over and get double teamed in the backcourt. You throw it over to Io DeSumo. Good. Now I wouldn't mind what Io did anything from here on out. You did everything right at this point. A pass to Zach is totally fine in my opinion, but if he does not think that's there, you just take it yourself. okay? And he does just that. He gets fouled. He made 2 free throws. So good job by Io. He made 2 free throws when it was needed, okay? So let's now talk about the next play for the Cavs, okay? Let's watch this one, because this is the play where I thought Jared Allen also traveled. So you make Donovan Mitchell come all the way out to the backcourt to get the ball. This is good. Again, no timeouts for the Cavs. You want to kill as much time as possible for the Bulls right here, okay? You want to run this clock out as much as possible. The Cavaliers do not have a timeout remaining, okay? The clock is very much against them at this point. Run out the clock. So Mitchell takes 3 seconds to get past the half-court line. Now he's in his move, okay? He drives. Now, right here, I thought Vooch was late, okay? But I'm not going to harp on him too much because Jared Allen is there. Vooch is a little bit late. I thought Allen right here did travel, okay? Again, we saw the pivot put right here. He picked it up. He moved it. He slid it a little bit. He traveled. He makes this shot. Good thing, though, if you're the Bulls, you ran 10 seconds off the clock. That's good. I would have liked a little bit more. If I was Billy Donovan, I would have liked a little bit more, but this is still good. In my opinion, I thought this is the correct. This is still overall good. You ran 10 seconds because the Cavs could have scored in 2, right? But you ran 10 seconds off the clock, so this is overall good. Now you have to inbound, okay? And I thought the Bulls did everything right here. Let me roll it back a little bit. You put in Kobe White, which is the right play, so no issues in my opinion about this. Again, tick up he will. Kobe's the better free throw shooter. And this is typically where Alex Caruso is inbounding, but in this case it's Io. That's fine in my opinion as well. I trust Io in these situations. And you have Kobe leak out to the backcourt here to catch the ball. That's good execution here. I think obviously DeRozan and Levine are like your top priorities, right? But if Kobe gets this open leak right here, you go ahead and do it. Zach was potentially open right here, but this is a fine decision by Io. So he goes out, he's out here, and then Kobe comes in and knocks down 2 free throws. So, again, good job by Kobe, right? No issues here. Now, this is the play where I want to talk about. So some people might be like, why did Ayo Dosunmu foul in this sort of scenario? So, after Kobe makes this free throw, okay, right now the Cavaliers have 7.4 seconds remaining with no timeouts at all, okay? They have to go the length of the court, so they can't move the ball into the front court. They have to go the length of the court in 7.4 seconds and put up a 3. 7 seconds is plenty of time, by the way. We've seen so many NBA players get down the court in 4 seconds or less. So there is plenty of time for this Cavaliers to get the ball in and get all the way to the 3-point line and take a shot, okay? There is plenty of time for this to happen. So right here, we're seeing the Bulls pick up full court, which is good. Okay, you don't want the Cavs to catch it, obviously, past this line here. You want them to catch it all the way over here. And right here, right, Mitchell catches it. Now, if you're Io, you're watching Mitchell this entire play. If he takes his time, you're not fouling, right? But you see here, all of a sudden, Mitchell gets a burst of speed. He's got Io beat. So if you're Io, you take the foul here. This is a good foul, okay? This is a right decision because if Mitchell gets past this, look, we have 5 seconds remaining. He has plenty of time to come on over here, right, and take a 3-point shot that is probably wide open, right? This is a good foul by Io. Also, this is a really good foul because this does not give the opportunity for Mitchell just to flail and shoot the shot and potentially get 3 free throws, right? You want to make sure you foul in this situation to force the Donovan Mitchell to take 2 free throws, okay? This was, in my opinion, all executed correctly. Now, if maybe someone else can disagree with me on this, but right here, to me, this is all done right. You took the foul with 4.7 seconds remaining. Okay, again, Cavs don't have timeouts here, so to me, this is the right decision. They fouled him in the backcourt. Mitchell did not get a shot off in this situation. Okay, so there is no chance for 3 free throws for him. The Bulls, this is where the execution fell apart. Right? You have to, if you're the Bulls, get defensive rebound. And obviously, that's where the issue with Patrick Williams came into play. Noel, I see that. Do you think Kobe could have dribbled it further back? So my only concern, if let's say, so we're gonna go back to this. Okay, so we're talking about this play here, where Kobe catches it back way in the backcourt, right? My only issue, if Kobe decides to dribble it further back, he might get into like a bad double team situation, right? Dribbling further back, in my opinion, isn't necessarily the worst idea, but you can kind of see already, like the Cavaliers, like they wouldn't be scared to like start throwing some guys over here, right? And due to their length, a turnover is very, very possible, right? I would much rather not risk it and just be like, all right, you have the ball, secure it, get fouled. Even if it's fast, just get fouled, right? I don't want to even potentially give the Cavaliers a chance here of picking off a pass from Kobe or double teaming Kobe and him losing the ball, or a jump ball is called, right? Don't even give him a chance, right? Do not even try to give him a chance. And moving backwards could result in something bad, right? Now, you could also be like, well, there's 8.9 seconds remaining. There's no chance of an 8-second violation that's going to kill the Bulls, right? So if anything, if there is something that Kobe could have done, it would have been, once he caught it, he is sprinting, away from Mitchell, but not necessarily backwards, okay? If he goes backwards, Mitchell is for sure coming, right? And then all of a sudden, then Kobe doesn't have a release valve. Would it kill more time? Maybe, but it could also result in something like a travesty, right? Which is Kobe goes towards the Cleveland basket, the Bulls basket, right, that we're defending, and all of a sudden the ball's right where the Cavaliers can score immediately, right? You don't take that risk. You don't want to bring your ball to the other to the basket you're defending, right? Your own basket. Never do that. Never bring the ball in this sort of scenario to your own basket, okay? That is something you should never do. Never do that. So, to me, this is the right decision. I think, if anything, Kobe could have done better. It would have been run quicker to here. That's all I would have done a little bit better, okay? So, in my opinion, I think this is overall done right. Maybe Kobe could have gotten to that corner a little bit quicker and threw it to somebody else, maybe. But in my opinion, this is done correctly. Never run your ball to your own basket. Never do that. Don't do that, especially with a lot of time remaining. Don't do that. Right. So I think the Bulls they did everything right in this one. At the end, obviously, then I think from the Patrick Williams rebound that he did not get, everything went downhill. Right. No bad execution on that, and then bad execution on the last play, in my opinion. All right, I want to check in on the other games around the NBA. Let's see here. So, this is all happening. The Nets, we face the Brooklyn Nets next. They won 16 of the last 17. It's going to be rough, right? So, things will get easier, right? I wanted the Bulls to at least get one of these games against the Cavs, especially because they're undermanned. You didn't get any. Not good, right? So now you face the red hot Brooklyn Nets next, and this is not gonna go well for the Bulls. I'm predicting an L, in my opinion. But maybe the Bulls can surprise the Nets. We'll see. We've won against Brooklyn Nets before, so it's not impossible. But yeah, I don't know about this one. But these games are currently going on. I want Atlanta to lose, so that'd be very nice. Also, I would like the Heat to lose, but they're right now winning by 15. Almost at halftime. So, standings wise for the Bulls, they've now dropped down to 11th, I believe. The Raptors are now at 12th, so they're not doing hot either. They're struggling. But now we're behind the Wizards. But obviously, it's a half game, so Bulls have time, right? They have plenty of time to get back into this picture. Obviously, only half game out of the play-in, but I want to be 7, 6 seed, 8 seed, which the Bulls have some ground to make up at least for that. Again, this season is pretty much like it to me. It is pretty much down the drain. There is not a lot where this Bulls season, in my opinion, can go to the point where we're thinking a lot of progress is being made. But I don't want to see this team be 10th or 11th or 12th. They need to, at the bare minimum, be in this sort of range right here, and actually start winning some games that they should. right? That'd be the nice start to fixing some of these issues. Because a bad season just is gonna, I feel like I'm worried about it leading to next season. We don't want that. We want to get rid of some of these mistakes that we're making, so for next season it's at least better, and that results in wins, in my opinion. So Bulls take on the Nets next, and this is just gonna be very rough. We're at the United Center, which is obviously good, but Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving have been playing out of their minds recently, and the Nets are just in general, they're on a hot streak. So Bulls in this one, you got to win the rebounding battle. There is no reason you can't win the rebounding battle on this one. The Brooklyn Nets don't play that big, okay? You got to win the rebounding battle. No excuses. Win it, right? Win the rebounding battle. That means that you're not going to give up that many second chance opportunities, which, by the way, the Nets averaged the least amount of offensive rebounds per game this season. Any team, right? You should not be giving up many offensive rebounds to the Brooklyn Nets. If you do, then everyone should be fine on the team. Find them all 15K if you give up like 15 offensive rebounds to the Brooklyn Nets. Find them all. That would be inexcusable, okay? This is huge. Bulls in general are a better rebounding team than the Brooklyn Nets. Win this. Win this rebounding battle. You have to, okay? Now, the three-point battle is where I think things are going to get a little bit hairy. Three-point percentage is something to look at, obviously, but to me, the Brooklyn Nets just take a lot more threes than the Bulls. So this is a big discrepancy already. So if you're the Bulls, what are you going to do, right? I wouldn't be shocked if Billy Donovan says to run some guys off the three-point line, like Seth Curry, Yuta Watanabe, some of the better shooters on their team, Joe Harris, right? I won't be shocked if we run them off the three-point line. I'd be fine with that, honestly. Because to me, they can only hurt you from three-point range, most notably Joe Harris, right? I would rather have Joe Harris try to beat us from mid-range than from the three-point line. Yeah, so I think that's something we need to prioritize with that. And then, in my opinion, this Brooklyn Nets team, while they do have Nick Claxton, they don't have a lot of rim protection, okay? You should win the points in the paint battle. Not saying that you win the game if you do all these three things I've mentioned, but that puts you in the best chance to win the game. And that's all I want to see, okay? This Brooklyn Nets team is all of a sudden looking like a legit contender. So I don't expect the Bulls to win this one, but I expect them to try to do their best and win battles that they can win. Because the last thing I want to see from this Bulls team is go into this game and give up 20 offensive rebounds. Because that's something you can control, right? If the Brooklyn Nets just hit 23s, you know what? Tip your cap. They just won because they've hit 23s and they made shots that they probably shouldn't make. Right? You tip your cap. They're hot right now. But if you lose this game because you gave up 20 second chance opportunity or second chance points, that's inexcusable. So come into this game just trying to win the battles that you can win. That's all I'm asking for in this one. If you do that, I'll be satisfied. Obviously, if it comes down to it being pretty close, you want to win it, but just hang around. We'll see if the Brooklyn Nets can maybe all of a sudden fall short, because here's the thing, they gotta lose at some point, right? They're on a 12-game winning streak right now. Maybe it's 13. Maybe I'm wrong. No, it's 12 right now. So they've won 16 of the last 17. They've won 12 straight. They gotta lose, right? They have to lose at some point, right? Maybe you could be that team. And if you give yourself that chance by winning the battles you can win, you have an opportunity. I won't be upset about that at all. But yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to on their next game, which I'm honestly I feel so lost with what the dates are. So that's on Wednesday for the Bulls next. So I'll probably see you guys then. See you later, Cucklord. Appreciate you being here. And I'm gonna end stream here. Bulls lost this one against the Cavs. I'm very upset, honestly. I'm pretty upset overall. But it is what it is. We gotta move on. You just gotta move on. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Even though it's just, again, one ridiculous roller coaster of a season for the Bulls. It has been a ridiculous season. I enjoy being with you guys still. We get to talk. We get to express all of our anger, right, together. But I appreciate you guys being here with me. It's been a lot of fun, even though the Bulls have let us down a lot this season. So I appreciate you guys being here. Again, if you have not already, hit that like button on the stream. Helps me out a lot. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more Bulls content that I'll be bringing to you all season long. I might stream tomorrow, even though there's no Bulls game. I'm thinking potentially, I can't guarantee it, but I might be starting a new channel tomorrow. Just kind of just have some fun with it, which it'd be like my gaming slash, just in general channel. Look out for that. So if I'm gonna do that, I'll send out a community post to a link to the new channel, and I might start streaming there tomorrow. Can't guarantee it, but I might start doing it and have a little bit of just away from the sports world, away from the Bulls, with you guys, and have a little bit of fun there. So be on the lookout for that. Just in general, just be on the lookout for like a gaming channel coming out soon, because I've been trying to set that up, and I have some more things that I can work with now to set that stuff up. But be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me tonight. It's a lot of fun. For all the people that checked in and out, I see that we had a lot of viewers in this one, so thank you so much for checking in on this one. But I'll see you guys, at the very least, I'll see you guys on Wednesday for post game against the Brooklyn Nets. Hopefully the Bulls win that one. Peace.